Hello everyone and welcome with us to Misr Public Library, and today we are at Luxor Heritage Center to explore our exhibition today, Reis.
Stay tuned for updates on Egypt and its history through on Luxor YouTube channel.
First of all, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Wusam محمد. I am an archaeologist at the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and currently I'm studying PhD at Aarhus University in Denmark, and this is part of my PhD project. I'm researching the community participation in protecting cultural heritage in times of crisis, and part of my case study is to look at the community here in Luxor and how to engage the local community more with archaeology and heritage. First of all, let's explain what is the Reis and what does it mean to us. In archaeology and antiquities, the Reis is the one who is responsible for all the workmen in our projects and in the excavations and restoration work. Those are kind of local workmen, they're all Egyptians, and the Reis is the position which every local workman wants to be in the future. It's the high rank and it's the highest position. We have one Reis here if you want to say.
أول حاجة دي حاجة يعتبر مختلفة عن اللي حصل قبل كده، يعني لما يعملوا معرض للرئيس ده تقدير للناس اللي كانت شغالة والعمال اللي كانت شغالة في جميع المعابد. أنا أعتبر ماخذ الشغلانة أبا عن جدا وماخذها رئيس عمال، كان المرحوم والدي والمرحوم جدي وجد جدي، وده فخر لما نلقى حاجة جديدة ويعملوا لنا يقدرونا بحاجة اسمه معرض زي معرض الرئيس ده، ونجيب العائلة كلها وجميع العائلة ونشوف برضك الأدوات اللي كنا شغالين بيها وكل حاجة كنا شغالين بيها يدي، ومعظم شغلنا زي الفراعنة يعني يعتبر كل الشغل ما فيش نظام أوناش، كله نظام يدوي. جميع العمل في الآثار ليه مراحل، يعني لما نيجي لمرحلة الستينات كان دروكيتي في مقاف الخوص ده كان بيتعمل من جليد النخل، كان بيتعمل يدوي وكان بيشيلوا فيه التراب. لما نيجي نعمل حفائر كان بتشال تحط بيه التراب تعمل. كان في حاجة اسمها أدوات حفائر، دي تعتبر من جانب من أدوات الحفائر، وفي مسطرنات وفي فرش. دي مهمتها دي كان في اكتشافات الحفائر. لما تيجي تشوف الطوب اللبن تلقى طوب لبن أثري. لما نيجي هنا في الحبال دي برضك كانت استخدمت في الستينات لحد أواخر السبعينات، وبعدين ابتدينا في حبال من نوع ثاني من الحبال اسمها الحبل الحرير والنايلون. في جزء هنا من زي الحبال دي زي دي برضك، دي تعتبر حديثة مختلفة دي عندي. دي الحبال دي حزمات، دي تشيل معك 8 طن. في حاجة أكبر من هنا بس زي ما أنت عارف كان المعرض صغير بتشيل فوق ال 40 طن. يعني لما تروح المسلة بتاعت التحرير احنا قلنا استخدمنا نوع من الحبال مختلفة عندي، لأن احنا جينا من شهر خلصنا المحل المسلة بتاعت التحرير والمسلة بتاعت المتحف الكبير. هنا العتلة دي يعتبر أنا من أحسن أدوات عندي، دي ماخدها من جدي عن أبا. دي تعتبر عتلة، العتلة دي معمولة من الخشب وطولها 3 متر، وهنا مكسية بالحديد. حتى يعني لما عملوها حدادي، حتى ليها يد بحيث تشيلها. يعني دي واحد يشيل العتلة دي لما كانت العتب بتاع معابد الكرنك كانت بتعدي ل 45 طن. عشان تيجي ترفع تحط حاجة خشب تعلي شوية. كانوا 4 زي دول، ال4 دول يشيلوا جنب واحد. دي بتاع 6 انفار يشتغلوا بيها. دي العتلة دي. دلوقتي زي ما انت عارف برضك في حاجات كثيرة. في عتل تاني من نوع من الحديد، من الحديد الصلب، دي مختلفة عندي. يعني دي ترفع معك في الثلاثات، ترفع معك جميع الحجارة الحديثة. وبرضك لما تيجي تعمل بلاطات أرضيات حديثة بنستخدم دي. بس في الحاجات الأثرية بنحاول نستخدم حاجة زي دي بس بنكسيها بقماش، عشان زي ما انت عارف الحجر الأثري بيكون منقوش. في حاجات أثرية مش عاوزين نعمل علام، يعني الحديد ده ممكن لو انت شلت بالحديد هيعمل علام، فبنختلف دوك بنشيل الشيء بحاجة حديد على طول. هنا برضك ده زي كريك، الكريك ده يشيل 20 طن برضك، ده حديث ده. بس زمان كان في كريك من النوع الثاني معمول بنظام القلاوز المربع، ده برضك كان يدوي وكان زي المنافلة. دوكا بتاع الستينات والسبعينات والخمسينات اللي بتكلم عليه. بس ده بيعتبر باكم، ده جديد ده برضك. عشان نبقى صراحة احنا مثلا في قطعة من الحجر كبيرة بتاع 40 طن او 50 طن عاوزين نسحبها. في حاجة زي دي بس اكبر من دي، ده شداد واللي هوك، بحيث تربطه وتعمل له درافيل، تعمل له زي عجل يعني، بس بيعملوا بالدرافيل ويسحب سحبان. ده يشد معك ل5 طن، بس الثاني كان بيشد فوق ال 40 طن. زي ما انت عارف برضك المكان هنا صغير، ما قدرناش نجيب الادوات كلها اللي هنا موجوده عندنا، بنختلف عن حاجه. ده هوك برضك، ده تربط فيه الحبل وتسحب بيه بحيث يديك السحب بتاعك. عاوز تحول الحجر 40-50 متر برضك بيكون معك. كان في انواع برضك، كنا زمان كنا بنستخدم المقادير، دول بنستخدم برضك انواع من البراوطات، في حاجات مختلفة عن الاول برضك، في براوات وفي حاجات مختلفة دي بتختلف. والكريك زي ما انت عارف، دي على فكرة دي بتعتبر بتاعت واحد اتوفى الله يرحمه من قرية المدمود. دي كانت خشب، فلما خاف تكسر عمل لها حديدة ماسورة عشان تديه في العمر أكتر. ودي تعتبر في من سنة 79. أنا احتفظت بيها، أخدتها مني وبعد ما توفى سابها، وأنا محتفظ بيها لحد دلوقتي، بس مش بنشتغل بيها زي الأول، مخليها عندي في البيت. بس لما عملوا المعرض ده جبتها دي، تعتبر من أعز الحاجات عندي دي بردك حاجة زي دي. في حاجات كثيرة بردك معتزين بيها زي ما أنت عارف. زي ما أنت عارف بردك لما أنت تشوف صورة زي دي هنا بتديك تعمل لك زي المعصرة دي عشان كنا نعمل البودرة بتاعت الحجر. لما تيجي تعمل حجر، بتعمل الحجر انت بتجيب بودرة، بتحط رملة، بس زمان ما كانوش يجيبوا رملة، كانوا يجيبوا الحجر الجديد الرملي ويعملوه كبودرة بحيث يخلطوه بالجير ويعمل المونة بحيث ترميم الآثار. بعدين استخدمنا الاسمنت، بس انا افتكر الترميم ده كان زمان كان احسن لما تعمل بالجير والبودرة بتاعت الحجر، بتعمل حاجة طبيعية لان الجير بيخلي الحجر يتنفس حاجة احسن. دي لحد دلوقتي انا محتفظ بيها في معبد الكرنك، هي المفروض ما بنشتغل بيها، بس محتفظ بيها لما باجي مثلا اولادي وناس يعني عايز عليه بوريهم ازاي كانوا شغالين في الستينات والخمسينات. شوف برضك هناك لما تشوفها برضك دي قطعه من الجرانيت ومطليه بالحاجه بالصاج شديد، يعني سمك سنتي، يعني زي ايه ساقيه، تحس تلف لفان، نحط البودره هنا وتلف لفان. لو جيت برضك الكرنك هيكون سعيد برضك اوريك الحاجه دي. هنا دي في البحيرة المقدسة، الصورة دي بردك لما لقينا حجر مرمي وطلعناه من البحيرة المقدسة في معبد الكرنك، بردك حاجة كانت يعني فخر لينا وكانت حاجة كويسة يعني. فلما تروح تشوف بردك دي ماخدينها من متحف أمريكي، جابها لنا كهدية، بس مع جابها لنا هدية، بس اللي عملناها حدادي أحسن. دي جبناها واحد من متحف أمريكا، متحف بروكلين، جابها لنا هدية، كان نشتغل نرفع بها الحجر. ودي صناعتهم بردك جيت من أمريكا كهدية لينا منهم. بس انا بستخدم العتل بتاع المعمول حدادي اللي زي ده الكبير ده، لاني برضك بيديني دفعه، وبرضك بتعمل حاجه يدوي وبيديك زي شغل زي زمان كان زي الفراعنه وكانوا بيعملوا كل حاجه. وانت قبل ما تشتغل المفروض قبل ما بنشتغل بنرفع اي حاجه لازم تفكر ازاي الزمان ايام الفراعنه كانوا بيشتغلوا، وبحاول نعمل حاجه مقاربه ليهم بحيث حاجه تكون زينا. انت متخيل دي خشب بس بتديك حموله اكتر، يعني ممكن لو معك حجر 5 طن او 10 طن هتعمل معك حاجه.
ودي كانت القعدة المفضلة بالنسبة للريس والعمال بتاعته، بنتجمع ونتغدى. وكان برضو لما يكون وقت نحط فيه حاجتنا اللي بنستخدمها في الحفائر.
We tried to imitate the environment where those people used to work. So we had this tent with the help of Reis Hassan al-Arabi. He and his colleagues brought us all the stuff that you can see here, all the clothes. These are very old, by the way, maybe 60, 70 years old. The galabiyas here, the shawls, the hats, also the coffee tools.
Hello there, I'm Joseph Migala, I'm a culture counsel. Actually, we're going to talk about some of the belongings of the workers and the head of workers. One of the important thing here is this key. This key actually, in the old times, they used to when actually they used to discover something or discover a tomb, they used to build a wooden door with bars to lock it in. And one of these doors actually used to be like a key to open it up. And actually after, few years, they modernized actually the doors. So the antiquities department in the old times used to dispose actually all these things, but we saved it. So this is actually, we can see how the door, how big the key is. So we can imagine actually how the door, how big it was. We can see here actually some of the costumes that workers and head of workers used to wear, and till now actually wear it. We call it in Arabic galabeya, okay. And of course the scarf, it's very important to just suit the costume or the costumes that the workers used to wear it and wear it still. And we can see here some of examples of their costumes.
Those people have been in this work for like centuries, and they are the first to discover antiquities. They are the ones who have all the experiences, and they are really skillful, and they know what they are doing. They are so much related and connected to archaeology and heritage. For this reason, we were thinking about having an exhibition with those people to explain and let the people know about their heritage and their work and their role in the knowledge that we have about antiquities and history, and also about our own identity. At the beginning of the exhibition gallery, you will find this video room, and here we are showing some videos to document the work of the workmen and the Reis. And for example, this one is made by To'a Omar. She's a student at the American University in Cairo, and she's very happy to have this amazing video in our exhibition. When we thought about this exhibition, we wanted everything to be like a community initiative. So we just announced that we have an exhibition, and it will be called Reis, and we will speak about the local workmen in antiquities. After this, we received hundreds of photos from all over Egypt, from archaeologists, from the workmen, from their families, from their sons, and everyone wanted to participate. They have also some kind of properties at their houses that they keep as a heritage from their families, and they wanted to participate with all of this in the exhibition. Not only this, but we also thought that we are only the curators. We can, let's say, direct the exhibition, but also we wanted them to participate in everything, even in the installing of the exhibition itself. So they brought everything, but also they installed the exhibition. They put the objects here and there. They put the photos, the images, and so on. Also, we had more than 500 images. At every expedition, at every mission, and every archaeological work, we will find the local workmen, the Egyptian workmen, inside the site, working and giving all their efforts to uncover and unearth a lot of information about ancient Egypt and the Egyptian heritage. For this reason, we have a lot of old images here coming from many places in Egypt. It's all coming from the people themselves. We didn't add more. Most of the collections here are coming from the people. And some of them are really old. These photos here are for the reconstruction of the chapel of Ramses I, which is now at the Karnak Open Air Museum. And here we have old images when we had trails inside the temples to move and transport the dust and the tools also. Some images came to us from the grandsons and the families of the old Reis and workmen. Like here, for example, this is Reis Muhammad Shadouf, and he was the first photographer in antiquity service in Egypt. Another Reis is Bashir Muhammad Shadouf, and he was photographer at Farouk I University. And this is from 1947. Another Reis here is also Muhammad Shadouf. He's from the same family, and he was the restoration Reis in Nubia. For some reason, some people think about those kind of people that they are illiterate. They don't have a kind of university certificates or education in archaeology. But we are saying that this is not true, because many of them are educated. They have a BA and MA, and also some of them decided to have more studies in archaeology. Here is an example for Reis Hassan al-Arabi, and he has BA in archaeology. He started working in archaeology with his birth certificate because he was so young. After this, when he was 16, he could have an ID. So he continued in our work with his ID. At the end, he studied archaeology, and he was graduated from Ganub al-Wadi University. Reis Hassan continued working in archaeology until he became Reis, and this is the most recent image for him working at the Avenue of the Sphinxes. In our exhibition, we didn't differentiate between small workman or Reis, but in this section we have portraits for Reis only. We have the portraits for Reis Ali Farouk, Reis Mahmoud Farouk, Reis Ayman Farouk Sharid, Reis Omar Farouk, who are all brothers and cousins, Reis Muhammad Abdin al-Kuwaiti, Reis Sayyid al-Nahas, Reis Muhammad Farouk, Reis Hassan al-Arabi, Reis Hilmi al-Faid, Reis Muhammad Antar. You may notice that we have a lot of sticky notes here inside the exhibition, and this is because we asked everyone to add something, some information that they might know, the names of the workmen that they know. We didn't want it to be like a strict museum exhibition. We didn't want to add a lot of labels and text and panels and so on. So we wanted the people, the visitors of the exhibition, to participate with us in writing the notes and writing the names of the people and writing the information that they know. One of the international museums that helped us in the building of this exhibition is Petrie Museum for Egyptian Archaeology in London. And for those who doesn't know who is Petrie, Flinders Petrie was one of the first English and international discoverers or explorers who came to Egypt. He came to Egypt and started to dig to find Egyptian archaeology, and then from these collections, many of them had been displayed in different museums around the world. The collection of Petrie Museum in London is very important for students of Egyptology, but also for the researchers, and also the archives of the museums has a lot of collections from the images and photos and diaries of Flinders Petrie. From this archive, we have a lot of photos for Ali Swafi. And Ali Swafi was the Reis of Flinders Petrie. Ali Swafi was from Fayoum, and he met Flinders Petrie in Fayoum, and then he came to work with him. And from this story, we started to have many local workmen, very experienced, very skillful, who worked with Petrie and other Egyptologists and until today. This image is a copy of an oil painting kept at the EAS in London, and it's the only oil painting that mentioned the house of Ali Swafi at Armant when he used to work there and dig there. And these are copies from the diaries of Flinders Petrie when he used to write down all the names of the workmen and even how much he paid them. These photos were also taken from Petrie Museum in London, where they had some new displays and new renovation for display when they added some images for the local workmen, the Egyptian workmen, inside the display, and they mentioned their names, and under the names they wrote that they are finders or excavation supervisors. We wanted to include some posts from the social media also, especially from Facebook, because it's so popular in Egypt. And for this reason, you will find some information and some posts to be shared from Facebook inside our exhibition. One example for this is the page The Place and the People, made by our colleague Fatma Kishk. And in this example, we have the ID of Reis Kamel Suddi, son of Reis Suddi Silek, and it's from 1938. Another example and participation from Reis Ali Farouk al-Silek when he discovered an ancient Egyptian garden at Dira' Abu Naga. His brother Reis Mahmoud Farouk al-Silek from Karnak temples participated with us also with another discovery for a statue for King Ramses II at Karnak that he discovered when he was a child. He used to come to the temple with his father, and then he found the hand of the king under the sand. The very famous story about the discovery of the collection and the tomb of Tutankhamun in Luxor begins with the child, Hussein Abdul Rasul. Hussein Abdul Rasul was responsible for bringing water to the expedition and to the workmen who worked with them. So one day he went to have or to get some water, and then he found a staircase, and it was the first step leading to the tomb of Tutankhamun. He came to Howard Carter and told him about this, but by that time Howard Carter was very, very desperate because he didn't find anything and his expedition was about to expire. So he went after Hussein Abdul Rasul, and that was the beginning of the largest discovery in the entire history of the Egyptian archaeology. The most appreciated story about discoveries here in Luxor in general is the discovery of Luxor temple cache. Everyone here is very proud that Dr. Muhammad al-Sabir, who was the general director of the archaeology of Upper Egypt, he gave his full trust to Reis Farouk Sharid when he told him that there is something here, and he gave him the freedom to work until they found some of the best statues in the entire Egyptian art. You can find some of these statues displayed now at Luxor Museum. We have here some images, and we have also a copy from the letter that Dr. Muhammad al-Saghir wrote to Cairo about the new discovery. For some reason, this profession is inherited, and there are very famous families in Upper Egypt working in archaeology. We have decided to put the names of some of those families as a kind of appreciation for their work. So we designed this tree, and we put the names of those family inside the tree, like Silek, Al-Fayed, Al-Kriti, Al-Arabi, Abdul Rasul, Beit Labib. As one example for this, we added some images from Farouk family. They are from El-Slek, and those three people are the fathers and grandfather. So they are all related to each other. This one is the uncle of that one. This one is the cousin of that one. Those are brothers. This is the grandfather of all of them. In this section, we are speaking about the discoveries that many of the local workmen and the Reis, they are the real discoverers and the real finders of the antiquities and archaeology in Egypt. We have examples here for excavation technician Ahmed El-Gamal, and here are some images that he brought to the exhibition to be displayed when he was working on some human remains. One of the beautiful participations in this exhibition is made by the poet Muhammad Sabr, who is also a workman. He works in antiquities with his family, and he's a student at Al-Azhar, and he's one of the very famous poets in Upper Egypt, and he has a lot of certificates and prizes. So he decided to participate with us with this poem, which is called بدون عمال ما فيش تمثال, or without workmen there is no statues.